South Africa's Kruger National Park, for decades regarded as the world's greatest game reserve, with animals including the Big Five drawing tourists from all over. But one of those five is destroying the habitat that the rest rely on. The culprit? The elephant.
Look at this place. Look at this. Up there.
Like other parts of southern Africa, the elephant population is beyond carrying capacity, and the result is this: whole areas of downed trees. Could it be that in some areas of Africa there are simply too many elephants?
So here we have one of the knob thorns, and this guy will probably still grow. The roots are still intact and everything is gone. But as far as nesting sites go, and as far as the shade go, this tree is just about done.
Forget Kruger National Park. I am starting to refer to Kruger National Park as the Kruger Elephant Park, because they are absolutely destroying the place. And I see that firsthand because I go there. I see that as an ordinary citizen. I see how the habitat in Kruger National Park is destroyed, because I've been going there since I was 8 years old with my parents, even before that. And the effect thereof is that big birds of prey don't have nests, small birds don't have places where they can stay, monkeys, baboons, stuff like that have no place to go. Bushbuck and all other small game that live in riverine forests are gone because the habitat's gone.
There is no small seedlings coming up. There is no intermediate trees to take the part of these, the place of these big trees that is now being destroyed. They are not here. And so what happens now to the nesting sites of vultures? What happens now to the nesting sites of eagles?
They single out, for example, the acacia nigrescens, or knobbythorn as we call it down here. They single out those trees as the trees most suitable for their nests. The elephants eat that in preference to anything else. So all those trees are gone. Your giant ground hornbill, which is a unique, iconic bird, wanders around, walks around on the ground. They're about 3 or 4 feet tall, or 3 feet tall. And they're jet black with white wings and big beaks and bright red faces. They breed in old trees, holes in old trees, and they can't breed anywhere else. That's what they're adapted to do. And yet the elephants, they don't eat these old trees, but they just push them down.
This place is not just for elephants. It's not just for them. They've got a place. Yes, of course they've got a place. But can that place not be fulfilled by, let's say, a third or a quarter of the number of elephants? Can they not do the good? Can they not achieve what they need to achieve in this ecosystem and have harmony with all the other animals?
One of the problems in Africa is room. There just isn't room for all these elephants. The world's zoos won't take them. Local people are running out of options.
One game reserve, 8,000 square miles, 34,000 elephants, and doubling every 10 years, when the carrying capacity for Kruger National Park is 3,500. And Kruger has lost all these, nearly 100% of all his top canopy trees. Where are we going if we cannot manage these populations? We don't want to go out and just shoot elephants for the hell of it. What we have to do, whether the Western people like it or not, we have to go out and maintain a balance, the correct balance between the numbers of animals, the numbers of plants, and the nature of the soil. And if we don't do that, we're not doing our job.
Ron Thomson has been a leading figure in elephant population control for decades. The Western media labels him a trophy hunter. He says he removes problem animals for the benefit of wider wildlife in Africa and for the people who live there.
I get phone calls regularly from all over the world asking me, am I this man? Am I the Ron Thomson who has shot elephants? If I'm the Ron Thomson who's done this, etc., etc. You are a terrible person, and I hope that someone comes along and strings you up like you strung up all your elephants and things like this. These are people who have got absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And then we've got idiots like Mr. Gonjalves in the UK, who also thinks that he's an expert. These people know absolutely nothing. And the big thing about this is what we have to try and get over to these people is that unless this century we can work out a sustainable utilization program that will benefit wildlife and benefit mankind, then wildlife is doomed, or mankind is doomed.
The emphasis must be on people. And how do wildlife benefit people? And not how do we protect lion? And the focus mustn't be on elephant and lion and leopard and rhino. It must be on how do we benefit people through that. And then wildlife benefits tremendously. A herd of elephant of 10 or 12 can destroy a year's crop of a family or an extended family in an evening. I mean, the people plant for next year 2 or 3 or 4 hectares, and elephants destroy that in a night. So if you are prepared to live with elephant, even in those conditions, because you get benefits from hunters, that protects the elephant. But the focus is on humans. And that's what people don't necessarily understand. And that's what we're trying to get across. Professional hunters would come in with clients and they would hunt. And at the end of the season, they would take that money, specifically in notes, in packs of notes like this, and take it to the community and say, you see this is that elephant we hunted there. You see this is the elephant we hunted over there. You see these are the 3 kudus we hunted over there.
Tour operators in southern Africa have found that photographic safari tourists don't pay enough for wildlife. Only hunters do. Conservation funding by hunting benefits the communities that live with them and the animals themselves.
The animal rights people are telling the whole world that the elephant is facing extinction in Africa. Well, in southern Africa, let me tell you, we have got far too many elephants. 10 and 20 times too many elephants in our national parks. So what does it tell you about the propaganda that the elephant is facing extinction? It's a blatant lie, because they don't even try and find out what the situation is. They work out the strategy that they can use to bamboozle the public.
In other words, it's like Goebbels. You know the story. You tell the lie frequently enough, it becomes a truth.
And then you go to the people you've told the lie to and tell them, give us money so that we can make that lie go away. That is fraud. It's all for money. A lot of these organizations are making hundreds of millions of US dollars a year from telling little old ladies in the street that they must get rid of their pennies, give us your pennies, and we will save the elephant. Now, try and tell me that these people are honest to goodness, people who really enjoy wildlife and they want to save wildlife. All they want to do is to line their own pockets, because none of that money comes back to Africa. None of it.
Ron set up the Trubin Alliance partly to counter the stream of negative reports about hunting in Africa from celebrity animal rights fanatics such as Eduardo Gonçalves and actors Ricky Gervais and Pieter.
So now we have got a bunch of experts in the public domain who form their own little organizations, and they have become the experts that are telling the world what we have to do with our wildlife. And to me, that is absolute nonsense. 3, 4, 5 years ago, I established an organization down here in South Africa called the Trubin Alliance to create an informed public about the principles and practices of science-based wildlife management, about the wisdom of sustainably utilizing our living natural resources, about the need to support animal welfare. That is, there should be no cruelty in any issues when you're involved with wildlife. And we denounce animal rightsism with the greatest of fervor, because they are the biggest problem that we have in the world today.
The point being that wildlife management in sub-Saharan Africa and in southern Africa is not as easy as it seems. It is very difficult to get it right if we really want to protect our wildlife, and that goes from snails right up to elephant. We have to look at it from a human perspective, and it has to benefit humans. Then wildlife will absolutely flourish. I promise you that.
The International Union for Conservation of Nature claims elephants are critically endangered, based on declines in figures dating back to the 1960s. The IUCN blames poachers and loss of habitat. There is no suggestion the declines are caused by elephants eating themselves out of house and home. Botswana, which has about 2.3 million people, has more than 130,000 elephants, which is one of the reasons it reopened elephant hunting in 2019. The community of 16,000 people in the Okavango Delta Panhandle shares its resources with 11,000 elephants, leading to conflicts. The government resuming hunting drew scorn from some of the Western media, which paid little attention to the welfare of the people living amongst these often deadly animals, even as their numbers grow.
Last year, we had a situation in Botswana where elephants were dying, and all sorts of people went in from all over the world trying to find some highfalutin reason why these elephants were dying. And nobody took around and looked at the habitats and said, well, there's nothing for the elephants to eat anymore. These elephants are dying of starvation. And this is going to happen more and more.
There is hope. There are signs that some in the Western media are beginning to listen to people from Southern Africa. The influential Economist magazine ran a film showing the conservation benefits of hunting animals, although it has been criticised by some in Africa. And the WWF supports regulated hunting. We just need a few more of the publicity-seeking actors and comedians who hate hunting to stop telling Africans, thousands of miles away, how to behave.